The AMMO Wargaming Universe sets have been specially designed for both players and army painters. The Weathering Combat Vehicles set has everything you need to quickly and easily create striking weathering effects on combat vehicles. All of the areas to be painted in metal tones were first primed with one-shot primer color black. Once primed, the base color aluminum was airbrushed and masked once dry. The rest of the vehicle was then primed with one-shot primer color gray. Highlights were added to the primer using light gray. Highlights were airbrushed in thin layers, lightening the center of select panels to create a sensation of volume. The blade was also painted in a metallic color, and a thin layer of scratches effects applied over top. After allowing the chipping fluid 30 minutes to dry, the base color was applied to the whole piece. The piece was wetted with water, and the paint removed little by little to represent chipping and wear. Masking was used to paint the center of the piece with the color gold yellow. To highlight the details, the dry brush technique was applied using Dio dry brush color faded yellow. Diagonal lines were then placed with masking and the black applied. The rivets and details were highlighted with the dry brush technique using Dio dry brush color Panzer Gray. Once again, using a brush dipped in water, the paint was rubbed to make the chipping and scratches. The chipping and scratches can be enhanced with a toothpick. With the masking removed, the details were painted before applying a coat of aqua gloss. A wash was applied in all the recessed details using Starship Wash. The gloss varnish allows the wash to run around and through all the details by capillary action. The excess was then removed using a brush dampened with enamel odorless thinner. Chipping was applied with the sponge technique, using the Dio dry brush color chipping. This effect was applied to all of the areas prone to being hit or rubbed by the vehicle's crew or environment. To avoid staining larger areas, simply place masking where needed. For the areas that require greater precision, a brush was used to apply small chips and scratches. The oil brusher color Starship Bay Sludge was used to shade specific areas by first depositing a small amount of product. The color was then blended using a flat and dry brush. This process of adding shadow was repeated in all the places that can be used to emphasize volume. To easily make the realistic effect of spilled fuel, the effects brusher Fresh Engine Oil was used. Small drops and droplets were added and spread to draw spills and staining. To accurately imitate the bluing of the armament, the dry brush technique was applied using Dio dry brush color Gunmetal for an outstanding effect. To imitate dirt and dust, the pigment Dark Earth was applied. Using the Precision Pigment Brush number 4, accumulations were applied, focusing on the anti-skid plates. The pigment effects were then fixed in place with enamel odorless thinner. You can also simulate traces of dust and dirt in some recessed areas simply by rubbing it with the brush, Another way to apply the versatile pigments Dark Earth and Europe Earth is to mix them together and dilute them with a little water. This mixture was then applied in the grooves and recesses of the front rollers and dozer blade. The effect was set aside to dry before removing the excess with a dry brush. To make splashes of mud and dust, first use the enamel color Dry Earth from the Splashes range. Splashes were placed all over the lower area of the vehicle by flicking the textured effect with a toothpick. To imitate a layer of more recent mud, a mixture of Splashes color Dry Earth and Streaking Grime was used. The same simple splashing technique was used to apply the highly realistic second fresh layer of splashes. AMMO Wargaming Universe is now available on our website, www.ammo.es. Discover many more videos on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate notifications. Thank you for watching.